Thank you. Good afternoon. The time is now 3:01, and I would like to bring this meeting to order. We would like to have our invocation today by Commissioner Presley.
Let us bow for a word of prayer. God, is with grateful hearts that we have been blessed with another day, and in this day we've been met with your grace and your mercy. As we enter into this meeting, God, we ask that your spirit of order will reign, God, so that we might handle the business at hand. God, I pray that there might be an increase of wisdom and understanding, that we might be led in a way that honors your leadership, as well as the will for the residents of the city of Detroit. And so have your way in this meeting. It's in your loving name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, sir. We will now, since we do not have a quorum, we will go directly into our report from Madam Secretary. Do you have your report?
The report this week is for Office of Chief Investigator, the weekly inventory report, as noted, all under tab 5. The Budget Committee memorandum, there are no action items, so the memorandum is there for your review. And the announcements are as follows. The next board meeting is scheduled for next Thursday, January 30th, 3 p.m. The location will be at the Laborers International Union, Local 1191, which is located at 2161 West Grand Boulevard in Detroit. And the next community meeting will be held Thursday, February 13th at 6:30 p.m. And the location will be in the 11th Precinct at SAY Detroit Place Center, which is located at 19320 Van Dyke Avenue in Detroit, Michigan. And that ends the report for today, Madam Chair, Vice Chair.
Oh, thank you, ma'am. So we'll now move into oral communications.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have 4 speakers. Our first speaker will be Dr. Gordon. After Dr. Gordon, Minister Eric Blunt, Fredia Butler, and Ms. Williams.
Hi. I came down here about the 1st of December and complained about how the police came to 2 of my homes and posted this bull stuff on my doors about trespassing that I never did for the cult members of Fisher, Burns, and Seneca people, doing them a favor by putting this bull stuff on my door saying I've been on people's property, which is a lie. And then I come down here to tell people about what happened to me. Then, I guess, to intimidate me further, I get a letter, the same letter, at both addresses in the mail. Again, the same ones. I don't know why I have to be intimidated to be able to speak up when I'm when wrong been done to me. Then I made a police complaint, and the young man that called me never returned none of my phone calls. When I try to leave messages, said that he would send me his email, I never received, and still today I have not heard anything from this young man. And then, second of all, I'd like to know why when I call down to the police station, I don't get no return calls. I have several police complaints about citizens that harass me, that have attacked me, and have went nowhere. And I like to know, and I have asked for it to be in writing, having the police report gone anywhere. And it said it was my right to have in writing why, when I made a police report for harassment and other things, my property being tore up, why these cases haven't went anywhere. And I would like that in writing. And I was told it was my right, and I still today haven't received it in writing.
Ma'am, could you please address that? Do we have someone that could talk with her?
Excuse me, through the chair, what precinct are you referring to, ma'am?
The 7th precinct.
The 7th precinct.
Can I see you after this meeting? I'll get your number and I'll make sure that Commander Johnson has someone call you tomorrow.
What about the police complaint?
Well, we'll deal with that when Commander Johnson tomorrow. I'll make sure he calls you.
Go ahead.
Through the chair, ma'am, one of my supervising investigators is here in the room this afternoon. Supervising Investigator Murphy, he's sitting right behind you. He can help you with your citizen complaint as well and get you the information that you need, and we'll make sure we'll follow up on. Matter of fact, I'll give you a call tomorrow as well. Thank you.
And through the chair, do you know the name of the individual from OCI who you said reached out to you but didn't follow up?
I didn't bring his name with him, but I have his name at home.
Okay. Well, if you can provide that name as well, because we want to make sure you're getting proper feedback. Thank you.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Let's, I'm sure that you called a meeting to order, so let's go to the introduction of commissioners, please.
Commissioner Woods,
Present.
Commissioner Smith,
Present.
Commissioner Banks,
Present.
Commissioner Bell,
Present, District 4.
Commissioner Burton is excused, Commissioner Carter excused, Commissioner Moore excused, Commissioner Hernandez excused, Commissioner Presley,
Here.
Commissioner DeWalsh.
Present.
You have 6 present, sir.
We have a quorum. I entertain a motion for the approval of the January 23rd, 2025 agenda.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Presley and supported by Commissioner DeWalsh. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The motion is carried. I entertain a motion for the approval of the minutes of January the 16th.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Presley.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Smith. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? The motion is carried. Introduction of the BOPC staff, chief of police, and elected officials, so forth.
This afternoon, we have Board of Police Commissioner Staff Attorney Dante Goss, Drew Freeze, Felicia Tyson, Teresa Blossom, Robert Brown, Mary Barber, Candace Hayes, Armesia Joshua, and Jasmine Taylor. Office of Chief Investigator, Elder Murphy, and I apologize, Chief Investigator, Reverend Warfield. DPD HR Director Katrina Patillo, Deputy Chief Pritchett, for Chief of Police, Interim Chief of Police Todd Bettison. Our interpreters today are Ms. Yakata and Dr. Stephanie Beatty. Charles Henry for Media Services Video. Those officials present today are, I have Ms. Frida Butler, 2nd Precinct Community Relations President, Ms. LaDon Davis, Office of Councilmember Fred Durhall. I also have, I think that, and former Detroit Police Commissioner William Davis are all that I have recorded at this time, sir.
Okay, all right. Thank you. And the chairperson report, if the personnel and training director was here, we in that portion, right? You trying to get my attention? Okay, all right, yes. And so I moved the Board of Police Commissioners for the interview of 5 candidates that came through our search firm. They did a thorough search, and I'm very, very appreciative of the chairman of the Personnel and Training Committee who have worked with the search firm and worked with everyone to be able to make this happen. And it's been recommended by the search firm for the position of Chief of Police during the next Board of Police Commission meeting on Thursday, January the 30th, 2025 at 3 p.m. The location would be at what Union Hall is that, Mr. Brown? Madam Secretary?
The location?
Yes.
We announced it a few moments ago.
You
It will
announced it.
be on West Grand Boulevard, as was announced a few minutes earlier.
Okay, thank you. And it will be posted on our website.
Yes, sir.
And Facebook page and all of that, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you very kindly. And the candidates are Todd Bettison, who is the interim police chief for the city of Detroit, Joel Fitzgerald, chief of police and emergency management in Denver, Colorado, Vernon Coakley Jr., chief of police, retired from Kalamazoo, Michigan, Joshua Wallace, commander, Chicago Police Department, Chicago, Illinois, and Alan Fear, chief of police in Lamar, Colorado. And so motion was made. I entertained that motion to be able to interview these 5 candidates for January the 30th, 2025 at 3 p.m.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I'm wondering whether or not this might be better served under new business, seeing that it comes out of committee. And if so, then I think that someone who serves on that committee should make the motion, because as the chair, you would just entertain that the motion is being
Yeah,
made.
makes sense to me. Okay, thank you. Strike all of that. And so we have a resolution honoring Captain Jamar Rickett. Is that here in our pamphlet?
It
Can
is,
you take
Chair.
care of that for us?
Yes. Through the chair, resolution honoring Captain Jamar Rickett. Whereas Jamar Rickett was appointed to Detroit Police Department on May 12, 1997. Upon graduating from the Detroit Metropolitan Police Academy, Officer Rickett began his career at the Communication Operations Section. And whereas Officer Rickett displayed tremendous knowledge and leadership skills as a police officer and was promoted to the rank of sergeant on June 14, 2006. As sergeant, he was reassigned to the Communications Operations Section, and on August 2, 2016, he was appointed to the rank of lieutenant. His assignments included crime intelligence, communications operations section, and reassigned crime intelligence. And whereas Lieutenant Rickett was promoted to the rank of captain on January 17, 2022, and was reassigned to communications operations section, the 12th precinct, telephone crime reporting unit, and communications operations section until his retirement. And whereas Captain Rickett was the deserving recipient of the following awards: Fireworks Awards, both Consent Judgment Awards, 2 Chief Merit Awards, the Major League Baseball All-Star Recognition Award, the Rosa Parks Funeral Recognition Award, I'll slow down, the Super Bowl 40 Recognition Award, as well as numerous letters of commendation from citizens and superiors. And whereas Captain Rickett has tirelessly served the Detroit Police Department, the people of Detroit, and its neighboring communities for 28 years. He has served the Detroit Police Department and the citizens of the city of Detroit with loyalty, professionalism, integrity, and dedication, and is widely respected throughout the law enforcement community as the consummate professional. Now therefore be it resolved that the Detroit Board of Police Commissioners, speaking on behalf of the citizens of the great city of Detroit, recognize and honor the lifelong contributions and commitment to excellence in public service of Captain Jamar Rickett. His display of courage and unwavering community spirit has improved the quality of life for the citizens of Detroit. We wish you all the best in your future endeavors, and we thank and congratulate you, Captain Jamar Rickett.
What is the pleasure of the board?
I move that we accept these this resolution into our archives.
Support.
Motion made by Commissioner Presley, supported by Commissioner DeWalsh. Any discussion? All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The motion is carried. So we saying all resolutions. You said resolutions.
Yeah, there are 2 more.
2 more, and so we good, right?
Yes.
All right.
And just for clarification, is this Vera Brownlee?
Vieira.
Vieira, thank you.
Through the chair, sir.
Yes.
Resolution honoring Detective Vieira Brownlee. Whereas Vieira Brownlee was appointed to the Detroit Police Department on April 27, 1998, upon graduating from the Detroit Metropolitan Police Academy. Officer Brownlee began her career in the Eastern District. And whereas Officer Brownlee's assignments with the Detroit Police Department included the Eastern District, grants and contracts, sex crimes, 6th Precinct, and Vice Enforcement. And whereas Officer Brownlee displayed tremendous knowledge and leadership skills as an officer and was promoted to the rank of detective on October the 26th, 2020. Her assignments included investigative operations and sex crimes. And whereas Detective Brownlee was the deserving recipient of the following awards: NFL Super Bowl 40th Recognition Award, Rosa Parks Funeral Recognition Award, MLB All-Star Baseball Recognition Award, Ford Fireworks Celebration Award, a Chief Unit Award, a Chief Merit Award, Departmental Citation Award, a Citation Award, and several accolades from within the department and from other agencies and citizens for her professionalism and expertise. And whereas Detective Brownlee has tirelessly served the Detroit Police Department, the people of Detroit, and its neighboring communities for 26 years. She has served the Detroit Police Department and the citizens of Detroit with loyalty, professionalism, integrity, and dedication, and is widely respected throughout the law enforcement community as the consummate professional. Now therefore be it resolved that the Detroit Board of Police Commissioners, speaking on behalf of the citizens of the great city of Detroit, recognizes and honors the lifelong contributions and commitment to excellence in public service of Detective Vieira Brownlee. Her display of courage and unwavering community spirit has improved the quality of life for the citizens of Detroit. We wish you all the best in your future endeavors. We thank and congratulate you, Detective Vieira Brownlee. I move that we adopt this resolution into our archives.
Move by Commissioner Presley.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Banks. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The motion is carried.
And finally, resolution honoring Corporal John Hall. Whereas John Hall was appointed to the Detroit Police Department on December 14th, 1998, upon graduating from the Detroit Metropolitan Police Academy. Officer Hall began his career at the 8th Precinct. And whereas Officer Hall's assignments with the Detroit Police Department included 8th Precinct, Southeast Section, Records Management, Office of the Chief of Police, Force Investigations, and reassigned to the Office of Chief of Police. And whereas Officer Hall displayed tremendous knowledge and leadership skills as an officer and was appointed to the rank of corporal on November 13th, 2015. His assignments included the Chief of Police Office and Records Management until his retirement. And whereas Corporal Hall was the deserving recipient of the following awards: NFL Super Bowl 40th Recognition Award, Rosa Parks Funeral Recognition Award, MLB All-Star Baseball Recognition Award, Ford Fireworks Celebration Award, a Chief Unit Award, a Chief Merit Award, Departmental Citation Award, a Citation Award, and several accolades within the department and from other agencies and citizens for his professionalism and expertise. And whereas Corporal Hall has tirelessly served the Detroit Police Department, the people of Detroit, and its neighboring communities for 26 years, he has served the Detroit Police Department and the citizens of the city of Detroit with loyalty, professionalism, integrity, and dedication, and is widely respected throughout the law enforcement community as the consummate professional. Now therefore be it resolved that the Detroit Board of Police Commissioners, speaking on behalf of the citizens of the great city of Detroit, recognizes and honors the lifelong contribution and commitment to excellence in public service of Corporal John Hall. His display of courage and unwavering community spirit has improved the quality of life for the citizens of Detroit. We wish you all the best in your future endeavors. We thank and congratulate you, Corporal John Hall. I move that this resolution be adopted into our archives.
Moved by Commissioner Presley.
Second.
Adopt the resolution. Second by Commissioner Bank. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The motion is carried. And I would like to recognize that Captain Jamar Rickard is present. Stan, and thank you for your service. but he don't like us doing resolutions for the police and stuff. But I think that your service to the citizens of the city of Detroit deserve recognition. We thank you immensely for all the years that you have served, and we appreciate the work that you have done and look forward to hearing good things because you look like a young man, and whatever you do in life, we pray and wish you Godspeed. Yes, sir.
Normally, if a person is present, they should have opportunity to come.
Yeah,
to-
I was going to do that.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Anyone else have anything to say before we do give them an opportunity?
Through the chair, honorable board, I just want to show my gratitude, thankfulness not only to you, but the citizens of Detroit for allowing me to serve, protect, try to uplift in everything that I do throughout my career. Humbly thankful and grateful for this resolution. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thanks.
Let's go to the chief of police report.
Good afternoon to this honorable body and those in attendance. I'd like to provide the chief's report. As it relates to our violent crime, just want to share a couple of our categories and talk about the work that's being done, not only by the police department, but certainly with our community and the stakeholders that all have bought in to making this a safer city. Our homicides, we are down 13%. Year to date, last year, we had 8. This year, we are at 7. Robberies, last year we had 59, this year we're at 58. 13% reduction for the homicides, 2% reduction for the robberies. In carjackings, we are down 25%. Last year to date, we had 8, this year we have 6. We have seen an uptick in our non-fatal shootings. This time last year, we had 29. This year we are at 32, a small number. So any deviation would show a large change, but we continue to work and drive this number down and continue the success that we've certainly accomplished in these previous 2 years. Calls for service. I really want to highlight the mental health calls for service. We continue to see an uptick, but that's okay, because those have the confidence to call us to get the help that are in mental crisis, and we are certainly answering that call, and the result is certainly our theory is that we can drive these violent numbers down, as we saw with the crime. And just to talk about where our numbers are, year-to-date calls for service that have a mental health nexus, whether it be mental nonviolent, mental violent armed, mental violent non-armed, suicide in progress, or the threat of suicide. This year, we have answered 889 calls for service. Last year, we are at 745, so we've had an additional 144 calls just in this first month. But again, with our partnerships, we're able to address those and get those the help that they need through our mental health co-response and our several partners, so the work continues. Talking about our narcotics overdoses, a reduction, which is good. Whether it's a one down with drug overdose or drug OD. Last year to date, we were at 232. This year, we were at 230. So we will certainly take those 2. Those are lives that have been saved and are here with their families and get the help that they need. Just to talk about a few significant incidents. One is a triple shooting that occurred on January 15th at 10:30 p.m. Officers received a shot spotter alert to the 10,000 block of Ferguson for several shots fired, which was later updated by dispatch to, once dispatch got the call, it was a shooting in progress. Officers arrived at the scene in 2 minutes at 10:32 and observed 2 victims shot. Victim 1 suffered multiple gunshot wounds and pronounced deceased on the scene. Victim 2 was transported to a local hospital because they too sustained a gunshot wound. The officers received an update that there was a 3rd victim who arrived at the hospital also suffering from a gunshot wound. It was confirmed that, again, this 3rd victim was involved in this incident. That's how we got to 3 people shot. Victim 2 was in temporary serious condition, and victim 3 was in critical. We then turned this investigation over to the Homicide Task Force, who began the work. The detectives thus far were able to determine that the victims were shot by multiple suspects who fled the scene in a white sedan. This is an open investigation, so we are asking anyone with information, contact Crime Stoppers at 1-800-SPEAK-UP or Detroit Rewards TV. Another event I want to talk about is a fatal shooting that happened on January 16th at 7:20 p.m., where officers were dispatched to the 10,000 block of West 8 Mile to investigate a fatal shooting. Officers arrived at the location and observed the victim sitting in the driver's seat of a Ford Escape, suffering from a gunshot wound. When the medics arrived at the scene, the injuries were incompatible with life, and the victim was pronounced deceased. The suspect, who is the boyfriend of the victim, was arrested at the scene by the officers, and they were able to determine that the suspect shot the victim at that very location. On January 17, 2025, detectives of the Homicide Section submitted a warrant to the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office, and that warrant was approved on January 19th, where the suspect was arraigned in 36th District Court on the following charges: homicide, first degree, premeditated, weapons, concealed carry, weapons, felony firearms, and the suspect is being held at the Wayne County Jail without bond. We did have an officer-involved shooting on Saturday, January 18th, just before midnight in the 8th Precinct, where officers were on routine patrol in the area of West 7 Mile and 4, where they observed 4 males walking in the area with a youthful appearance after curfew hours. The officers approached the individuals to investigate, at which point one of the suspects, a male wearing a ski mask, walked away from the group into the alley, disregarding the officer's command to stop. The officers approached the subject to investigate and observed that the suspect was armed with an assault rifle. Officers fired shots at the suspect, striking him 2 times. The victim was conveyed to a local hospital and listed in temporary serious condition. The weapon was recovered at scene. This juvenile offender and others at the scene were investigated, the other juveniles that were at the scene, were released to their parents. And as with all police shootings, this is being investigated by the Michigan State Police. With the commitment from the chief, again, within the timeline presented, there will be the public presentation or the public debrief, the video done, detailing or describing this incident. A loss for words. The last incident we want to talk about happened on Tuesday, January 21st, 2:25 p.m., where officers were dispatched to 477 Michigan Avenue, the McNamara Federal Building. Officers arrived at the scene and observed a subject who had already been placed in custody by the federal police. They spoke to the federal officers, who stated that the above suspect exited a white van in front of the location and began to fire several rounds in the air and then throw the weapon down on the street. DPD conveyed the suspect to the DDC. However, due to our federal partners actually making the arrest, we assisted in the transport. This is under investigation. What I can share with you is that the individual does suffer from mental illness, has a history, a documented history of mental illness, and was under a court order not to be in possession of a firearm. So again, with that federal investigation, the individual can get the help that he needs that was responsible for this firearm discharge at the federal building. In closing, just a few things. In our commitment to reach out to the community, talk to the community, our command officers at the precinct, to make sure that the community and those in their precincts know who they are. The 4th Precinct conducted Coffee with the Cop at the Vamanos Healthy Eatery in the 4th Precinct, where they were able to talk to the command and the 4th Precinct NPOs. We, in addition to the 3 that we mentioned that were retirement with the resolutions, there was another event at the 11th Precinct for Corporal Stephen Jackson, who had a 39-year career with the police department. And then lastly, tomorrow at 2nd Ebenezer Church at 10:30 a.m., we will be graduating 39 student police officers who will then be promoted to the rank of, instead of student police officer, to police officer, as they can do the work, the Lord's work, as I've heard this board often mention, and hit the street serving this community here in the city of Detroit. Mr. Chair, that is the chief's report, and I will gladly answer any questions that I can.
Through the chair.
Have them.
Yes, sir. Commissioner Banks?
Blessings to you and your household, Deputy Chief. I like to know, well, first of all, before I get started, I want to acknowledge Vice Chair Liberty and Commissioner DeWash for the great awards what they achieved. I was at the Fox when you got that award. That's a great award what you got that was represented to you by Hugh Perkins. Great award that you got, too, from the city of Detroit, the Spirit of Detroit Award, right?
No. Testimonial resolution.
Oh, I thought it was Spirit of Detroit. I'm sorry about that. But anyway, it was a great award.
It was.
Bless
Thank
you.
so much, sir.
Oh, you're quite welcome. And then, and then also, Deputy Chief, I have a little. What was that? When did that happen? The guy was shooting at the houses. Because I want to ask you a little bit about another situation, or it may be that situation there, Deputy Chief. What area? I mean, what day? What day? I'm sorry, what day?
If I may ask through the chair
Yes.
for clarification, you said someone shooting at the house.
Did you mention someone was shooting? The guy was shooting, the mentally ill guy, and he was shooting at some houses?
Up through the chair, that was at the Federal Building, the McNamara Building, right here downtown, and that happened. Please forgive me. I believe. That was Tuesday, January 21st at 2:25 in the afternoon. That was right here down.
That was at the McNamara?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, Deputy Chief, I got a case here of Jermaine McKnight shot and killed on November the 26th. The family is saying that DPD hasn't got back to them, and any information such as what evidence was collected, who they talked to, and why the warrant was denied. The warrant was denied by Prosecutor Kim Worthy. The shooting had many witnesses. The killer was even shooting at houses with kids in it. And the young man that was killed was Jermaine McKnight. Deputy Chief, can you please look into that? Malik Shabazz, the Honorable Malik Shabazz, contacted me. And he said, Commissioner Banks, would you look into this case for me? And, Malik has put his life on the line for this city. So I want to be able to help the brother. So he sent the family to me. I released him to give the family my phone number and everything. So they contacted me. And this family is hurt. They in pain. They want to know why the gentleman was released in 3 days. And can you please look into that, Deputy Chief, if you could, please?
Through the chair, yes, sir. I have Lieutenant Sharon McClure from the Chief's Neighborhood Liaison, who's present at the conclusion of the meeting. We will get those specifics from you, Commissioner Banks, and we will certainly update the family.
Appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Commissioner Presley.
Thank you, through the chair. Deputy Chief, my question is relative to the Chief's report. It's gotten a bit thin, at least the documentation that we received. I just recall that we used to get a shot spotters report, facial recognition report, but that hasn't been in our packet for at least a few months now, maybe even longer than that. And so I don't know whether or not there's a rationale for that, whether or not we were maybe trying to perfect the data that was being provided to us. But again, I think that it's important that we kind of have that level of information, particularly around the technological uses that are being employed by the Detroit Police Department.
Absolutely. Through the chair, I see those documents being generated. I am not sure where the breakdown is. I will bring that to resolution at the conclusion of this meeting, and we will make sure that those documents are submitted to this body and that you have them at your disposal to disseminate among the board how you see fit, sir.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Are you done?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to add to that we had a budget meeting this week and we did ask about the shot spotter reports and why we were not getting those and how often, we would be getting them. And Commander Parrish did say that there was a glitch, I believe, in the software that produces the report or something to that effect, and that he would also check into that and make sure that we get caught up. I think it's happened for about a year or several months anyways that we haven't received that report. So they are working on it. I just wanted to let you know that.
Thank you.
Commissioner.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, you are mandated by policy to get us those reports. And we expect those reports to get to us expeditiously.
Yes, sir, Mr.
So
Chair.
the software have been fixed from our understanding, from what Commander Parrish was telling us. But it's absolutely unequivocally clear that by policy that we are to get those reports monthly. And it's vitally important that the community have this information, and we was assured that we'll get those reports. And so hopefully by tomorrow that we'll have those reports.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, and in that same vein, and this is more directed towards us, obviously there's a lot of moving parts to the work that we do, and I know that it's very difficult for us to, follow up on everything. And so I don't know if there's a special working group that we can create, because again, there's been a lot of conversations that this board has had with the department, but we haven't really been able to follow up on that. And I'm mentioning that because of what Commissioner Banks said, and not knowing the particular details of that incident. But again, it had been an issue with several families saying that they haven't been reached out to from DPD to get follow up on cases. And, at the transition of the chiefs, that was a discussion point about how we would improve that level of communication. And again, finding ways that we can get timely feedback to ensure that those things are happening, because again, I think that the community has an expectation that we're on top of these things.
Yes, you must have been reading my note that I was.
Man, we're like that. We like that.
Yeah, and because we said last week that the staff is to get us follow-up information on these various requests. So we expect staff to have that to us expeditiously as well, to make sure that the follow-up on these issues are done, and they done promptly, because we're not, this ain't verbal gymnastics. We're not here, to play games with anyone, but we're here to get answers for the citizens of the city of Detroit. And so all of us have to maximize our potential. To Commissioner Banks' question, I was in the office with Captain Thurkill for homicide and special units, and a family member who has been impacted by homicide. And Captain Thurkill is very, very responsive in our requests. So when we have those type of issues, we can get that to Captain Thurkill. And I'll give you his cell number after this meeting, because he has met with a number of families, and he has been following up very thoroughly on those requests, and been proactive in that space as well. So,
Hey,
yes, sir.
through the chair, Commissioner Presley, good job, man.
Great job.
Great job.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Is any more questions? All right. There being no more questions, let's go to oral communications.
Mr. Chair, you have 4 speakers in the room. We're going to start back with Minister Eric Blunt, Ms. Fredia Butler, and Ms. Williams.
Good afternoon, Board.
Good afternoon.
And Assistant Chief. I choose to believe that the vast majority of police officers are honest, hardworking people. It's how we don't deal with the bad ones that makes this whole situation very dangerous. And so I'll ask for a moment of silence. This moment of silence is for all honest police officers who have been attacked, injured, and yes, one killed. And yet, this week, their attackers from January 6th have all been pardoned.
Lord have mercy.
I knew you weren't going to say nothing, so I thought I better say it.
Amen. Get me together.
Getting you together is very difficult, brother.
I know, man. I know.
These recognition awards have nothing to do with police officer misconduct. No disrespect, brother, if he's still here.
Yeah.
But it's all about police officer misconduct, and there's enough to go around.
Yeah.
We don't need to talk about crime and everything else. Talking about everything else, you were in rare form, Chairperson, when you brought up this guy from car insurance. Had nothing to do with police officer misconduct. So I don't even want to guess what it is you really trying to do here, but it's not protecting the citizens. These recognition awards could have been given to the by the Board of Water Commissioners. You could have given one to a dog catcher. We just don't know what's next, but people are hurting, and this game, this sickness has got to stop. The reports on ShotSpotter and facial recognition, they stopped because the data showed the embarrassing part of it all. Facial recognition does nothing but catch black men doing something. ShotSpotter collects thousands of shots and very little evidence is ever recovered.
Last statement.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
may I?
Yes.
I strongly disagree with the minister in reference to his statement about the role of this board. I've been a part of this board since 1974. I've been elected part of the board since 1914. And he don't really understand our mission at all. Unfortunate, but he's consistent, make erroneous statement about we only deal with discipline matters. That is a very small, you need to read the charter mandate. It's clear our role that we serve this community, and we doing it honorable and fairly and openly, and so that's misleading. I just want to state that for the record. Thank you, Mr.
Yes. Thank you.
Good afternoon, through the chair.
Excuse me. You're not heard yet. Yeah. Thank you. And to your point, this is what we do on a weekly basis for the citizens of the city of Detroit to know. When we get these folders, these are not mystery folders, but these are citizen complaints that we have to go through every single week, and we get tons of these. And I am very, very appreciative of all of the team that plays a role in making this happen, and all our investigators who are doing an amazing job. And amen. Thank you. Yeah, and take a look at our dashboard. You know, our dashboard is a living dashboard, and judges on that. Yeah, thank you. You may be heard.
Good afternoon, through the chair. This is for you, Willie Bell. When Arbar was the chief investigator, if I'm clear, this started in 4 years ago, all the complaints I didn't have. So backdoor dealings, transparency, accountability. I've been talking about the homeless people for an awfully long time. It's going on 2 years since I've been coming here. And I have a OCR code 79379. Chief Warfield, I'm gonna make sure you get this information concerning these officers that live in these facilities. I have somebody that can validate what I'm saying about officers are in these facilities, and they're getting housing vouchers also. That's not acceptable. A housing navigator. We gonna talk about the transparency when you guys be sitting up here at this table talking about mental illness and all this. When I see phones out, when you want to record me hacking to my devices, and you so quick to talk about mental illness. So when the paperwork come down in the city concerning corrupt officers, then we gonna talk about that too. You all give badges to officers who do not deserve to get badges, who should get psych evaluations. Okay, I have an officer that continue to antagonize me, and this is the same officer who threatened my life. And like I said, I do not care who he was related to or who he is related to. It's not acceptable. Like I said before, it's a lot of good officers out here, but then we're going to talk about the bad ones too, who like to swipe, hack into machines, steal, the dollar stores, the casinos. I can go down a list of all this illegal corruption in this room. So every time I come in here, somebody want to get into my devices. Make it make sense. It was started in 1974 because of Coleman Young, because of the corruption of the Detroit Police Department. Lieutenant, thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Through the chair.
Come on,
Through the chair. Have we ever had anybody, I know she's been talking about this for a little while now. Have we ever had anybody look into her situation?
Well,
because she's up here consistently.
Yeah, well, absolutely. You know, the way we look into anything is through citizen complaints, and that has been vetted, you know, through citizen complaints. Excuse me, I'm sorry. She has filed numerous citizen complaints, right? And they have been answered.
Okay, all right, all right.
All right, thank you.
Make it make sense.
Yeah. Let's get a point of order, please. Thank you. You may be heard.
Good afternoon. Commissioners, first, I must state at board meeting January 16th, you acted as if you didn't know about the 2nd Precinct not having a commander. I have given you a second copy of my letter dated December 10th, 2024, when I wrote about our concerns. We have had 7 commanders, and I believe Commander Ryan Connor doesn't want to be at the 2nd Precinct. I haven't met him. Commander Ryan Connor has and is disrespecting our communities by not attending our meetings and introducing himself as commander. He should be placed somewhere else. After watching the inauguration, we have some dark days ahead. I hope we will speak up and stand up and do something. We are not a powerless people. A commissioner spoke about your responsibilities, but after listening to citizens, it seems, and I believe, you're listening to someone else. Please stand up and do what is right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair.
Through the chair.
Yes.
If I may, if I can ask Lieutenant McClure to get with Ms. Butler. I am not sure where the breakdown is. I've seen Commander Connor in the 2nd Precinct, extremely visible. So he will be at that next meeting. So if we can just get those particulars, you will
Wonderful.
see Connor at your next meeting.
And the person that made the complaint last week, they were able to talk to him that same day, and then I know that they did go to the 2nd Precinct and meet because I was talking to them on the phone of the other community leader who wanted them to come to the meeting. So I talked to her on the phone on the way there, and after she finished the meeting with the commander, so I believe the ball is rolling. But any more you can add to it, let's add to it. Anything? Next speaker.
Mr. Chair, we're going to go into Zoom, and that will be Ms. Pennell.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Well, I've got better cases, so Chair Woods and Commissioner Moore, I appreciate you contacting the commander. He called me right back. I had a meeting with him the very next day. He said he was going to be at the next meeting, and he's going to be helping us at 2nd Precinct. Now, I hope it's true, because all we want is someone that's going to help us. He seemed to be okay. He wanted to take me to lunch. I'm not hungry. What I'm hungry for is help in the community. And I appreciate everybody that helped me out, because he jumped dead on the phone. Within a half an hour, he was calling me. And then we met on Friday. I talked to Chair Woods twice. So let's work together. That's all I got to say. Let's work together.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next speaker.
Mr. Chair, our next speaker will be Reuben Crowley. After Reuben Crowley, former Commissioner William Davis and Mr. Scotty Bowman.
You may be heard.
Yeah, to everyone within the sound of my voice, everyone in the room, and this situation with Kenesha Coleman, DPD case 20-11112, I just talked to today 2 investigators of the homicide unit, and one of them hung the phone up on me when I expressed to them that there was a 7.5 to 10-minute time period where this individual was dropped off at the McDonald's where she worked at. But before the person that dropped her off, her grandmother got to her grandmother's house after dropping her off, there was an incoming phone call to her grandmother's phone stating that Kenesha Coleman had been shot or shot herself. Except for there's one major problem with that. There doesn't seem to be an incoming call or text coming to this individual's device indicating that Kenesha shot herself. Now, I've been dealing with this situation through 5 chairmen on the Board of Police Commissioners: Willie Bell, Jim Holly, Daniel Ferguson, Quantez Presley, and Darrell Woods. And now Darrell Woods has passed the matter on to the vice chair, Tamara Liberty Smith. I've explained to her in detail, extensively. And I got a 40-year reputation around Detroit, and in around Detroit of being stand up 100. I got no reason to put nothing on nobody that they don't deserve, and Nene wants what she wants. Nene wants what she wants.
Thank you. Next caller. Next caller.
Hello, can I be heard?
You may be heard, sir.
Okay, I'd like to start off by saying that recently on Monday, NAN, the Michigan NAN, had an outstanding event, the Martin Luther King Dreamkeeper Award. We gave out 6 awards, and one of them was to Ty Bedison, Detroit intern chief. And it was an outstanding event. Perhaps next year some of y'all could attend. Also today, I mentioned the board chairperson Wood's name at City Council, and that was talking about a contract that was about to give Godfrey and Son. And I mentioned the fact that we still have a lot of problems in the city with some towers. More people are actively involved. As some of you may or may not know, I speak before City Council almost 4 days a week on different issues. But we need to be more proactive in what's going on in the city. We need to recognize outstanding individuals, and we need to also recognize when we have some individuals and some companies that's not doing good work for our people. So perhaps y'all could be a little bit more pushed and see what's going on. Perhaps y'all also need to be doing a little bit more community meetings. I know like Commissioner Moore and Commissioner Burton, they've had community meetings. I think more commissioners should have community meetings. I think more people should know who the police commissioner are, be it the elected ones at the districts or the others that were appointed. But, the Board of Police Commissioners should interact more with the community, and hopefully y'all will. Y'all have a nice day.
Thank you. Any more callers?
Mr. Scotty Bowman.
You may be heard, Mr. Bowman.
Hello, Honorable Board. I'm speaking with a number of hats. I have the founder of Detroit Residents Advancing Civilian Oversight. I'm a treasurer of my Community Advisory Council, but I'm not really speaking on behalf of them right now. I am also DRACO is a member group. I'm participating with the Coalition for Police Transparency and Accountability. On the transparency issue, I would really love to see something that codifies more transparency in the revealing of body-worn camera video, as well as any other surveillance video under the control of the DPD. And that should be instantly available upon request, or as quick as physically possible for the commissioners, especially since they're the oversight organization. And anything that does not jeopardize an investigation, really needs to be visible by the public at large. The other matter is, of course, we have this continued matter of officer-involved shootings, and especially the most recent issue being the death of Sherman Butler. Yeah, sure, the shooter was actually a sheriff deputy, a bailiff, but working under the county, not with DPD. However, DPD was present. Detroit police officers were involved in the situation. Their conduct needs to be investigated. We also need to investigate other suspicious deaths, or why maybe the officers are not investigating suspicious deaths, such as the homicide of Kenesha Coleman that Mr. Crowley brought up earlier. Thank you, and have a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you very kindly. Let's go to, here, dear Secretary, so we on unfinished business. So I entertain, what is the pleasure of the board as to item number 6 or unfinished business?
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
I move that we move into closed session pursuant to Section 8A of the Open Meetings Act, MCL 15.268A. The department's request for the board to consider administrative leave without pay but with medical benefits for Police Officer Donovan Donahue, badge 693, assigned to the 12th Precinct.
Motion made by Commissioner Presley, go into closed session. Second by Commissioner Banks. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The motion is carried. This is a 2.5-minute recess. Today is the 23rd. Today is the 23rd of January, and it's 4:22. The Board of Police Commission is called back to order.
Commissioner Woods,
Present.
Commissioner Smith,
Present.
Commissioner Bernard,
Present.
Commissioner Banks,
Present.
Commissioner Bell,
Present.
Commissioner Burton excused, Commissioner Carter excused, Commissioner Ricardo Moore excused, Commissioner Hernandez excused, Commissioner Presley,
Here.
Commissioner DeWalsh.
Present.
7 present, sir.
What is the pleasure of the board?
Back in open session.
Oh, no, we back in open session. Is any motion? Mike for us, please, Commissioner. Thank you.
I move that we accept the chief recommendation to suspend without pay Officer Donahue.
Motion made by Commissioner Bell to suspend Officer Donahue without pay,
Support.
and supported by Commissioner DeWalsh. No discussion.
No discussion.
Yep. There's discussion?
Yes, there is discussion.
Yeah, and so make sure we be very, very careful in the discussion. Go ahead.
Very careful in the discussion.
Yes, ma'am.
This is a case that is pending in criminal court.
Point of order.
Mm-hmm.
That information is privileged information.
Pardon me?
It's privileged information. No content that was shared in closed session should be shared in open session.
Okay, then we'll just deal with the facts of the matter. The point of the matter is that I think that suspending an officer without pay prior to there being a conclusion of any other matter involving the officer is inappropriate for the following reasons. When you say suspend without pay but with medical benefits, that's meaningless because you can't pay the copay for the medical benefits unless you have an income. This decision affects not only the officer, but any child or any other dependents that he may have, or actually that his spouse, I'm not sure if this was a spouse, but in any event, that he may have.
Point of order. Again, be very mindful of what you share. Again, none of these details are privileged to the public.
Excuse me. The suspension without pay is a draconian remedy, quite frankly, that could force a person into criminal activity or criminal behavior. If you don't have an income, you cannot pay for your medical benefits, and you cannot pay for the medical benefits of your dependents. This matter is one that is being addressed in another forum that is a factual forum in which there will be sworn testimony. We should wait until we get the information from that forum in order to address this issue. This matter was, as I understand it, charged in open.
Point of order. Point of order.
What point of order? It is
information that is in close. So,
will you stop
point of order, Mr. Chair. Can I be acknowledged so that I can help my fellow colleague understand what can be shared?
Made a point of order. Go ahead.
All right. So under new business, the only thing that is publicly aware to the public, right, is that there is an officer who is being requested by the department. I've been recognized by the chair.
Reverend.
I've been recognized by the chair, and I'm trying to prevent this board from liability. There's a
Any
reason.
charge is a matter of public information in the state of Michigan by any police department. It is public information. So it is not a point of order. It is not confidential information.
This is a confidential.
It is, I'm saying to you, if you've been charged with a crime anywhere, it is
Again,
public.
so you are disclosing, they don't know what has happened at all. Commissioner, you have now given them information that allows them to discover that when they should not have known that.
Order for that.
I am not out of order for that.
Yes, you
I
are.
disagree 100%, because you can you can just go online and look it up.
All right, so we have an attorney here. Can we get a legal opinion from our attorney about what should be shared out of closed session?
Back to the point.
You're out of order on this.
I'm not out of order.
The attorney is giving us, Commissioner Presley had the floor. Now the attorney is giving us a legal guidance on this.
He knows what I'm saying is true.
Good. Well, listen.
Commissioners, whatever is discussed in closed session cannot be brought up into open session. So any information that you received in closed session, we cannot discuss it because of the closed matter.
I understand that. But a suspension without pay is a very, very serious allegation, and it's one that we've been asked to opine on as a body. And we are analyzing that and addressing that. My position is that a suspension without pay, without anything else other than a memorandum from the department, does not give us that right to do that because of the draconian implications of that to the officer. We have a vested interest in our officers. We train them. We invest tremendous amounts of money in them. And until there is an actual determination that an officer has violated any law or principle, I don't think it is an appropriate remedy.
Well,
Because it affects not only the officer, but their family and everything else. You can drive a person into criminal behavior by how you treat them.
All right. We exhausted that.
can't pay.
Commissioner Bell?
Mr. Chairman, I just want to say to our learned commissioner, she's been consistent to take that position. It's a matter of record, so we don't need to hear you. We know how are you going to roll, how are you going to handle this matter. You've been consistent.
And we know how you will.
Yeah, okay. This is no personal attacks. This is not personal, but.
He just made it personal. I didn't make it personal.
Yeah. All right, let's, if there's no further discussion, call the roll. Come to me last.
Commissioner Smith?
Yes.
Commissioner Bernard?
No.
Commissioner Banks?
Yes.
Commissioner Bell?
Yes.
Commissioner Burton is excused. Carter excused. Commissioner Moore excused. Commissioner Hernandez excused. Commissioner Presley?
Yes.
Commissioner DeWalsh?
Yes.
5 yea votes and... Oh, I'm sorry. I am so sorry. Thank you, Board, for your patience. Commissioner Woods?
Yes.
6 yea votes, 1 no vote.
Okay. The motion passes. What is the pleasure of the board?
Go back to move that we go back into open session.
Closed session.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, sir.
I move that we go
back
to
to
closed
closed
session pursuant to Section 8H of the Open Meetings Act, MCL 15.268H, to receive legal advice from Corporation Counsel regarding material exempt from discussion by state and federal statute.
Motion made by Commissioner Presley to go into closed session. Second by Commissioner Banks. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? The motion is carried. This is a 1.5 minute recess. Today is Thursday, January 23rd, 4:47. The Board of Police Commission is called back to order. Please call the roll.
Commissioner Woods?
Present.
Commissioner Smith?
Present.
Commissioner Bernard?
Present.
Commissioner Banks?
Present, District 3.
Commissioner Bell?
Present.
Commissioner Burton is excused. Commissioner Carter excused. Commissioner Moore excused. Commissioner Hernandez excused. Commissioner Presley?
Here.
And Commissioner DeWalsh?
Present.
7 present, sir.
Yes, sir.
I move that we postpone new business item A until next meeting.
Support.
Motion made by Commissioner Presley to postpone new business A until next meeting, and supported by Commissioner DeWalsh. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 One opposed. The motion is carried. Commissioner DeWalsh.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Under new business, I wanted to report back to the commission that our contracted staffing company, TJA Staffing, Inc., has provided us with what we requested, and that is 5 candidates for the chief of police position. And I'd like to list those names. Todd Bettison, interim police chief from Detroit. Joel Fitzgerald, chief of police and emergency management from Denver, Colorado. Vernon Coakley Jr., chief of police, retired from Kalamazoo, Michigan. Joshua Wallace, commander, Chicago Police Department, Chicago, Illinois. Alan Fear, chief of police, Lamar, Colorado. And I'd like to make a motion that we accept these 5 candidates.
Motion made by Commissioner DeWash and second by Commissioner Bernard.
Point of order, can we get a full motion? Because I think that to just say to accept them.
Yes, I'm sorry, let me correct that motion. I would like to ask the commission if the Board of Police Commissioners to accept these 5 candidates to be interviewed for the police chief's position. They are recommended by the search committee as we requested, and our next meeting, the candidates will be interviewed during our next meeting of the Board of Police Commissioners Thursday, January 30th at 3 p.m. Thank you.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner DeWash to interview the 5 candidates, to accept those 5 candidates to be interviewed on January the 30th at 3 p.m. And the second by Commissioner Bernard. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? The motion is carried. What's the pleasure of the board? Motion made by Commissioner Bernard to adjourn.
Second.
Second by Commissioner.
Mr. Chair, I still had some new business.
Oh, okay. I apologize.
No problem, no problem. Last week, I want to piggyback off of Commissioner Bernard on last week when we were talking about the 32 officers that was taken off the streets due to they was not certified. We know that lies on Director Patello. Now, can we get some type of suspension or some type of disciplinary action? Patello?
Let me, if I can interject, we don't know that right now.
Well, she's over that, though.
Let me finish.
She's over the officers.
No. It's an investigation going on there, and when that investigation is concluded, then we can see who is responsible for X, Y, and Z, and whoever is responsible, if they did wrong, then I'm ready to do whatever we need to do to be able to hold anybody accountable for that. But at this point, it's an investigation going on, and it's not determined that she was the person responsible for that.
Okay, I apologize.
Not a problem.
I apologize to you and her.
No,
I repent.
Okay. Amen.
For my error.
Amen. Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Chairman, the head of HR is responsible for human resources. That means people. That means certifying that they are qualified and with respect to the position that they are seeking. This sort of massive, if you will, miscalculation or mistake is not excusable in any business or any industry in the world. If I'm the head of a trucking company and I put 32 people on the road who are not certified with CPLs or whatever they're called, then that falls on me. It
Yeah,
just is what it
yeah,
is.
well,
I understand that you want to continue an investigation, that's fine. But there is no doubt about who's responsible for human resources, hiring, and certifications.
But yes, these are not
Sponsor my brother.
These were not hirings. These were officers coming back to the
Doesn't
department.
matter.
Okay, let me finish. And some of this predates her. She wasn't even around when this happened, and so that's why I said it's different nuances to this situation. And the investigation continues. And when that investigation is completed, we would deal with what we need to deal with openly and transparently.
Now, through the chair,
That is just,
Yes, sir.
sophistry.
through the chair. Now, if she's correct, I'm getting ready to come right back at it. I'm going to open it back up, if she's correct.
Is she correct about
What she said, that HR is responsible.
No, it's different nuances to this. It's HR and training. It's a lot of things, different nuances to it. So you can't swing in the air, or at a ghost. You got to have facts. And then when you put somebody's name out there in public and said that they did X, Y, and Z, I think you better be very, very careful because
We agree, we understand that.
you become liable, because we want to get the facts out there and the truth out there. And that the investigation, we demand it to be open and transparent. And so I'm with you guys on the investigation part of it, but you don't want to do anything to anybody prematurely.
I get that. Now, through the chair,
Yes, sir.
I mentioned to you, you mentioned that she may not be the one over that. And when you said that, I apologized. I repented to you, and I repented to her. I left it alone.
Yeah.
But when Commissioner Bryard, she's an attorney, so I respect her knowledge.
Yeah.
I confide in her a lot on this board. When she go forward, she's a wise woman. She's an attorney. So I respect that. And when she came back with that, I thought maybe,
But
it's accurate.
I don't want to belabor the moment,
But we'll just.
An investigation is an investigation.
Okay, good.
Have you seen the results of any investigation?
No.
Do you know who's being investigated? What's being investigated? Do you know what they are looking into? So these are vitally important questions.
Okay,
and things that we need answers to.
Right.
And we demand answers.
Right, that's right. But I'll leave it alone until the investigation come back. I'm through with it until the investigation come back on who's in charge or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm through.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair,
Chairman, I agree with you that there should be an investigation.
I move to adjournment.
Second.
Pardon me, I was speaking.
I was recognized. You were not.
I was recognized.
No, you were not. Point of order.
She was speaking though.
I was
He
recognized.
was not
speaking.
recognized. Point of order. I was recognized.
I was recognized, point of order, before you. So bottom line is this.
Point of order. There's been a motion that's been seconded on the floor.
Yeah, motion made by Commissioner Presley to adjourn and second
Don't
by
talk to me anymore.
Commissioner
I will not be disrespected by you.
Commissioner Bell. Any
I will
discussion?
not be
Can
disrespected.
I want to say this. She right in the midst. She was right in the. I'm not backing. Huh?
You want to talk in the discussion? You can talk in the discussion.
I'm not.
We were in the
I'm not saying I'm backing her, but she was in the middle.
Point of order. There's a motion in the
And we
middle
let
of the
that
floor.
go though.
Been made and been second. Now is discussion. You want to discuss?
The discussion was on, okay.
Just finish your discussion.
Point. Back to the point. We cannot let our personal.
Point of order. Her comments are not germane to the motion that has been made, which is a motion to adjournment.
Yep. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's true. We got to go by Robert rules now. All in
Have to
favor
go
say aye.
Aye.
We have to go back.
Anyone opposed? The motion is carried.
Nonsense.
Not nonsense.